All right, now we're coming down the home stretch, and I know some of you might be thinking I've done this backwards, but we're getting a lot of the foundational pieces together. We've got your product now ready for sale. We got the membership site that it's selling, the access to the product, and now we're going to finally come back around to where y'all thought we might have started. But it's all going to come together, and it's going to wind up with the beginning pages. This is basically the marketing end of things. So we've got the store behind the scenes all up and ready to go. It's ready to do business. Now we just need to put the face on it. So that's what we're going to do next. This is in the form, like, I don't know if some of you might not be familiar with the whole marketing end of things, but with marketing, it's not just about selling your product. It's about getting people to want your product, grabbing their attention, creating demand and desire for the product before you try and sell it to them. And if you do that stuff out of sequence, you'll turn your prospects off and they won't turn into customers. So I'm going to show you how we turn them into customers. And we do that with what we call a lead magnet. This is a free thing that you can give away on the front end to new people that don't know you and you don't know them. And what it does, it builds trust and creates demand and desire, because what we're giving them is high value, but incomplete. It leaves them wanting more. So just kind of to outline the sequence of what we're doing here, we're going to create an initial landing page where we offer them a free thing. It's going to be a PDF. They're going to get the free thing. They're going to go to the thank you page. They're going to download the free thing. And then we're going to give them more than we promised. We're going to invite them to a free masterclass or webinar or whatever we want to call it. And that's actually going to do the selling for us. So the selling is done on the second phase in, not on the initial phase. We don't want to just send people to a sales page. We want to get them to opt in so we can follow up with them. So we had the abandon tag if they get into the cart, but we want to be able to communicate with them before they get to the cart. We also want to know if they've abandoned the cart so we can follow up in that way. But this is about a process, and we're going to take you beginning to end with this. And we've already done the whole back end. Everything's done. The help desk is up, the calendar's up, the product's up, the membership is up. So now really the only thing left is the mechanism of getting them to opt in on the front end, which is nothing more than a simple landing page with a form. I'm going to show you how to set those up next. And then I'm going to show you how to set up the sequences, the automated email sequences after this. And at that point, I'm going to show you my little trick I talked about. I kind of alluded to that, why we put 2 price points on the actual product. And that should keep you riveted to this process, because it's all about making money. So let's get into it. Let's set this thing up and make some money here. So I'm going to go back to pages. Now I know going into a form, I know I need 2 pages. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to create those shell pages, and then we'll come back and we'll configure them later. But before, I showed you how to use the templates over here. Like, they have squeeze pages. They have basic squeeze pages here, and you could easily just use one of these pages. And they're pre-formatted. You just drop your stuff in. But I want to take a minute here and show you how easy it is just to use the blank page. Just to start from scratch, use a blank page and create something just literally out of thin air. So I'm going to hit the blank page, and we're going to call this the opt-in. And this is let's call it the confidence opt-in. Okay, it's in no particular category, no particular site. And this literally is going to be just a blank page when it loads up. There's no template attached. We're going to be swimming in free open water here. You see, it says drag a section in. Now you'll notice there's sections and there's components. Components are all the pieces that you put on the page. It's like your columns, your headlines, your text, your buttons, images, all the way down, videos, countdowns, all the stuff. That's in components, but you cannot add a component to a page till you have a section. So you'll notice there's favorite sections, just like we created that email template. If there's a section you create that you want to save for other use, you can do that right here. Now they have a ton of pre-configured sections. Like if you want a header section here, you can just drag that over and drop it in. And each section will have its own pieces, its own parts, and all of that. But for now, I literally want to show you how to do this from scratch. So we're going to take an empty section and we're going to drag that over here and we're going to drop that empty section. And you'll notice now it says drag and drop a column. So a column is a component. So you get to choose here now whether you want a full width column or you want a 66% column, or you might want two 50/50s, or you might want a 33/66, so on and so forth. You can have 3 columns, you can have 4 columns, you can have really whatever you want. But I want a 50/50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that over and I'm going to drop it. And you'll see now I have 2 columns. And now it says drag and drop a component. So I'm going to go back over to components. And here's where I can drop anything I want in here. So what I want to do is I want to drop an image. That's the first thing I want to do is I want to put an image in here on this side. Now you'll see it's just a blank placeholder. So I'm going to click on edit. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the image. So at this point, I don't have the image that I want here. So I want to upload one. And I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to go into the MCC folder and let's see, lead magnet page. So there's the image that I want. That's representing what we're going to offer them for free. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to load it up and I'm going to select it, confirm. And now there's a lot of other stuff here, but if I apply, it puts it in, drops it right in there. Now in style, you can center, you can do different stuff, you can put borders around it, all kinds of stuff, but we don't really need to do that. We're just really selecting the image here. Now for search engines, you can put an alt text on here. So I'm not going to bother with that right now, but any images you put in, Kartra now allows you to put alt tags in there, which is a good thing to do for search engine optimization. You could also link this image to anything you wanted. We're not going to do that. We literally just want the picture. We want the pretty picture here. And now over here, we want some more components. We want to put a headline in there. So we could grab a pre-configured headline here and edit it, or we can go back to components and we can just do text. So we can actually create our own headline. We'll put the text in here and then we can change that, change the font size, all that stuff. Now we want a bold headline and then we might want some smaller text. So we'll click text again and we'll drag another text box in there. And then after that, we're going to want another component called a button. Let's see, there's the buttons. And it allows you to choose, if you want rounded or square. We'll just drop a square button in there for now. And that button is basically going to allow us to download our copy of this. So I've got the basics here for this opt-in page. Now you might say, oh, well, I want a logo up here. How do we do that? So what we would do there is we could go back in here into sections, and we want another empty section. So we bring that, we drop it right there. And then we go back to components. We drag a column, and we want 100% column. We drop that there. Then we go back to components, and we go to images because we want to put a logo in there. So we're going to drop the logo in there. Now we want to select the logo. So we're going to go to image, select image, and we will put that logo in there. Confirm, apply. Now we've got a header. So that looks pretty good. Now you might say, hey, that thing's a little large. Just click the resize here and shrink it to your liking. You might want it in the center, so you can go back to the edit style. And you put the center tag in there, apply, and now you're centered. So we've got the bones now of our opt-in page. Let's just configure this a little more while we're here. Let me pull that up, and I'll just put the real thing in here then. So let me copy that, and I'm going to just paste that in here. And then we've got the rest of it. So I'm going to copy that. We're going to put that in here. Now I'm going to take this, because the headline copy, I usually like to center that, and I like to bold it, and I like it a little bigger. So let's make it like a, it might be a little too big, maybe a 1.2. There's an easier way. Yeah, you can also adjust this to make it however you want. URA. Okay, you come to the right place. All right, and then we got this. We don't want to bold it. We don't want it quite as big, but we want it a little bigger. And you might want to center that up. Okay, so we've got the call to action. Click the link to learn. Okay, cool. So that's looking pretty good, you know? That is a basic bare bones template that you just created. You didn't have to fight with the, you know, the pre-configured templates with all their stuff that you got to work around. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to publish this because we want this thing live. And again, this is a page, so we don't want that funky Kartra address. We want the main domain. And this is confidence opt-in. All right. So now if we take that, we can copy that, and we can actually go up here and we can load that in the browser and see that that page is up ready to go.